Yeah. Goldust always had that quick power slam.
Dude, very, very quick.
Yeah.
Very quick.
And it's not like Dustin's the strongest human being in the world. It's all technique.
Yeah.
And a lot of guys, the power slam looks like it's so easy, but it's not. So many guys fuck that up. It's a real basic move.
Right.
But you get a guy coming off the ropes, and all of a sudden, man, it could just go to complete discombobulation. You can jack a guy up, and it looks like shit. He's got a good one.
Now, there was a very athletic move on his part because, you probably knew it was coming. I didn't. And just that quick. He grabbed him, scooped him, and, slammed him.
Yeah.
And it was like, holy cow.
Yeah.
And he's not the biggest, most stoutest guy.
No.
We met him backstage.
Yeah, you met him backstage. Yeah. And right now, Dustin's just a cunt hair younger than me, probably 2 years, 3 years at the most. And he's moving better than he ever moved before in his life. And I remember wrestling him back when I went to WCW. I had been in the business about a year and a half in the USWA. And all of a sudden, man, I met Dustin down there at Sportatorium in Dallas, Texas. And my mother went to high school with Dusty in Austin, Texas. Me and Dustin were born in the same hospital. And you started shooting the shit with him back in the day. And who would have figured that our paths would cross, literally about a year and a half later in WCW. And we loved working with each other, man. Hard physical matches. A lot of times, getting some color out there.
Right.
Carrying blades. And these are just house shows on the road. And, dude, when you got the liberty or the freedom to just go to the agent, and I'll never forget this. I told this story before, but I believe it was Phoenix, Arizona, your hometown.
Right.
And we was in Phoenix. House was kind of the shits as it was back in the day. And Grizzly Smith, Jake the Snake Roberts' father, was the agent who was the guy running the show. And Dustin goes up to Grizz. He goes, "Hey, Grizz, you mind me and Steve get some color?" There was no reason for it.
Right.
We just like to, do that.
Yeah.
And Grizz goes, yeah, that might be good. So, hell, there goes me and Dustin back in the back. And, he's making his blade, I'm making mine, doing our thing, and went out there. And it looked like a couple of damn stuck pigs come out from under the damn ring. I remember walking back. And Lex Luger was still in territory back in. And I was walking in the dressing room, and he was walking out. And he come by me. And, of course, nobody would assume out in Phoenix, Arizona on a house show anybody's going to be getting any color on purpose unless it was a hard way. And so he looked at me like it was the shock of a lifetime. And I said, "Hey, man, what's going on?" Went on inside, and he went out there and did his thing. But I always enjoyed working with Dustin. And one other story about Dustin Rhodes. When I first came into WWF way back in the day, and I was a ringmaster, me and Dustin traveled together and staying in the shitbox motels, the cheapest things we could find, and drinking beer. And he was Goldust at the time. I mean, the Goldust had the heat on him.
Yeah.
I was telling you about this. Did you watch back
I
then?
remember back
Do you remember
then.
how much heat he had?
Oh, yeah.
Oh, man, he was working on top with Shawn Michaels every single night. And, of course, Dustin can work like a motherfucker, and so can Shawn Michaels, one of the greatest in the history of the business. And so was Dustin. And they're out there just killing it. Shawn's over like a motherfucker as a baby. Goldust is hotter than hell as a heel. And he would play up that character. And I was his riding partner, so I would probably have gone on about, mid-card. So I'd already done showered up, and I was watching the matches. And those people, you talked about the old days when they would ride. Talk about real heat back in the day when you could get stabbed going to and from the ring.
Right.
It was that kind of heat. And then, man, just so many people complained because of the nature of the character. Back in the day, I guess it was pushing the envelope, or maybe he was. He was so fantastic at the gimmick. It's unbelievable. That's when they chopped the legs out from under it, and they kind of shut him down. And I always felt bad for him because here was a dude trying to break out of his dad's shadow, and he found that as Goldust. Because when he first came in down there in Texas, he was, Dustin Rhodes, and he had on, the red trunks, the blue trunks, and the cowboy boots like his daddy wore.
Right.
And, of course, it looks like him. It's his son. And so now when he comes up with Goldust, I mean, main event status, star status, working motherfucker, and they chopped the gimmick out from underneath him. I really felt bad that happened to him.
Dude, I mean, isn't that the whole premise is to try to cross the line? You know what I mean? With his character, getting everybody fired up. That's the whole creative process. I mean, that's what you want to do is evoke a reaction out of the crowd.
And Vince, they were doing that, and Vince recognized it. And Vince was a big proponent of the gimmick. And I don't know whose idea that was. I don't know if that was Dustin's creation, Vince Russo, or Vince McMahon's creation. But everybody was on board. But
whose idea was it to shut it down?
It was just all the complaints that they were getting in from the various groups.
The moral majority speaks
yeah,
out.
you know, because the people that it was offending. And this was back in the day. And, you know, man, I'm a fan of, you know, everybody. I'm a fan of gay marriage, gay rights. But a lot of the people were complaining.
All right.
So it got shut down. But I always felt bad that happened. But, goddamn, how did we get segued onto this? Oh, yeah, we was talking about the Power Slam. You're finished. And when I segued off into a Dustin Rhodes tangent. Anyway, Dustin, travel safe.